Chopping it up with G and Z. Chopping it up. 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 Chopping it up with G and Z.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Chopping It Up with G and Z. I am G. This is Z. How's it going, my brother?
Man, shoot, chilling. What's up with you?
Man, I can't complain, man. Blessed, highly favored, the whole nine. On our episode today, we have the honor of one of our alumni from the T. Yes. Actually, I could go back, Toni, I guess. Way back. Alumni from Walt Whitman Elementary School.
Yes. Walt Whitman, yeah.
Yes.
To the Carver Wildcats.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, to the T, man. Oh my goodness. Toni Estes. What's going on? And welcome to Chopping It Up with G and Z.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
Man. So for people who don't know who you are, me and Z got together and made a little bit of a questionnaire for you, a little Q&A session if you're down.
Okay.
So basically, give us a rundown. Well, let me want to start this off real quick. I'm gonna make this an interesting question for you, Toni.
Okay.
So when did you know that you could actually sing?
You know what? Probably from the beginning. I mean, every little kid think they can sing, but my father was in the music industry, and so it stuck out to him that I sang a little different than the rest of the kids. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was singing. Then I had an uncle who could sing. He was like my young uncle, and so he used to teach me all kind of stuff. But I think when I really knew, like, oh, I can really do something, I was probably about 9. But I was singing on commercials and all of that kind of stuff when I was 5.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before a long time.
Yeah, no. Because the crazy thing is, what I think of all the time is, like, I remember meeting Toni when I first remember meeting Toni, I was like in 5th grade. But I went to Walt Whitman. Yeah, but I went to Walt Whitman with y'all in 2nd grade. Because I came and went to Walt Whitman for a month in like 2nd grade.
Did you?
My first day at Walt Whitman, they put us all in the cafeteria to see the space shuttle. Do y'all remember that?
The one that blew up.
Yes, that was my first day of school at Walt Whitman.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Me too.
What?
I went to Walt Whitman for a month.
So what I do, and maybe that's the first time, because I remember you coming. Yeah. I couldn't remember I couldn't remember how old I was, but I remember you came and then you disappeared.
Yep.
And did you move back to Florida?
Yeah, we went to Miami. We was moving from Seattle to Miami. So I went to Miami for like a few years and then we came back.
Yes. So yeah. I remember that very clear. As a matter of fact, I was over my mom's before before I came on. And I was like, you remember Zeke? My mama remember. She was like, Gerald Sneed. I ain't heard that name in a long time. Like, she remember, like, I'm like, you remember Maya had a cousin? And see, I do remember that, So yeah, we've been around each other for a long time.
Oh man.
Yep. I'm not gonna reminisce too much, man. But what the crazy thing is too, though, is like anytime we go to a function now, like me and my wife, your brother is there. So I see your brother before COVID. I would see your brother everywhere. I'd be like, baby, this is, you know what I'm saying? So we see your brother all the time too.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's real crazy.
Man, whew. If anybody knows, Tulsa is real small, but we all know each other from classes. So
right. We do.
You know what I'm saying?
What class you come out like?
What class you come out of? Okay. You know, so you know Lil Junebug. Okay, all right. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, I know your brother. I know your cousin too.
Graduated with Estes. Yeah, I know them.
Yep. That's funny.
Oh man, so this past year with COVID, how you been? Actually, try to summarize, like how has this past year with COVID been for you?
You know what? it started off probably like everybody else. It was like, oh, because me and my family, my husband and my kids, we were in LA for spring break. And then as the trip went on, like we was there a couple days, and then all of a sudden stuff started shutting down.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, we need to hear belief or we get stuck in this joker. Like, so we left and we stopped by Whole Foods, got some vitamins because we was hearing all the talk.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, and then we didn't know really what to see. You know what I'm saying? You be like, dang, am I gonna just drop dead if I walk outside? We really didn't know what was happening at that point. So we came back home and we were in the house, and it was cool for like the first couple months. It's like, oh, we here as a family. We never here at the same time. We cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I didn't know I was getting bigger and bigger. I was like,
Ooh.
this is like, and I put on some jeans. I was like, ooh, okay. One day when it dawned on me, I needed to do something different. I was like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. My husband is in there frying fish and French fries. Like this couldn't be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but then as it went by, it started to get a little bit more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because you just used to seeing people in person. You know what I'm saying? And used to just hanging, and it was weird. Yeah. It got weird for a little bit. And so it kind of ended right on time for me, because I was like, this, it started to be a head play at a certain point. So I was like, nah, we got to do something different.
The COVID 30-pound issue, woo, I think everybody caught that.
Listen.
If you didn't catch COVID, you caught them pounds you got.
Caught them a 1-2. Like, dude, I was like, oh my God. And it just happened. So, I mean, I guess it took a year, but it felt like it happened overnight. Yeah. But it was a little disheartening when I wouldn't put on them jeans. I was like, or I thought I was gonna put on them jeans. I was like, oh, these look tight. They must have shrunk in the now, boo. That's all you. That's all you.
Listen, man, DoorDash has gotten so much of our business. Ooh, Lord Jesus.
Man.
Yup.
I've been DoorDashing my life away, man.
I'm telling you. So for people, I was just gonna say, for people who don't know, like, give us the rundown of how you got into the actual industry.
Oh wow. So like I said, my father was in the music industry, and that really and truly, like, from the time I decided I want to sing, that was what we were working towards. You know what I'm saying? Getting in the industry, and I'm like really kind of amazed at it myself, like, because back then, and I guess now, even now to a certain degree, back then it was really gatekeepers. Like, you wasn't getting in unless somebody let you in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now it ain't that. It's like, oh, Joker, I can make my own lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different now, which I think is dope, right?
Agreed.
So I'm impressed that we were able to pull that off from where we were from. And so really, we just did the traditional stuff, demo tapes, going back and forth to LA. We met some really cool people, and it was really kind of networking. This person to do this person, and this person to do, you know what I'm saying? And then it just turned into this, and then I got the Whitney stuff and TV stuff. You know what I mean? So it just kind of, one thing led to another over years. When I tell this story, it's easy to confuse people, and sometimes people put pressure on themselves when they hear these stories. Oh, I did this, and then this, and then next thing I know, I was writing for Whitney, and then this came, and then it sounded like it happened over the course of a couple weekends.
Oh no.
Like, no, it happened over years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's the long game on this stuff.
I just knew. I remember when we were in because, you know what I'm saying, I tell people all the time, we went to Booker T, man, and I felt like, I ain't gonna say Booker T, I'm just saying North Tulsa. I felt like everybody could sing. Like, it was so many people, man. I was in the hallway one day and RW was singing Shy, and I was like, how you be the #1 football player in the country and you can sing? Like, that ain't even fair. And I remember Hijinks and all of that extra stuff, man. So it was a lot of people who could sing really, really well. But I remember like people were singing in talent shows, and Toni was opening up for Gladys Knight. And we was like, well, that's a little different. That's a little different.
It is. It's really weird. That's really, I mean, like, when you're a kid, you're just doing it, right? But now that I have kids, right? And they're about that age. My son is 12, he'll be 13 in September. I'm kind of like
How?
mind blown. Yeah, like at the fact
How?
that dang, you was doing that at that age. How, Sway? Like that's kind of how like and
Yeah.
that's bizarre to me. And I remember being in 8th grade and like, look, I thought I was so fly. I was in 8th grade and they let me come and sing at hijinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like,
Hey, listen.
watch out.
Hey, if we ever talk about stories, one of the stories that I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, Tony, happening,
Okay.
but I want to say it was probably 7th grade. I can't remember if it was 7th grade or if we were already. I can't remember what year it was, but I remember the upperclassmen cornered you and made you sing. That may have been at the T actually, not at Carver. Do you remember that?
Yeah, listen, they used to do it all the time. It's so crazy. They used to, the first time I remember doing it, I think I was about maybe in the 6th or 7th grade, because that's when they had the high schoolers, which is weird to me now that I think about it. The high schoolers and the middle schoolers rode the bus together, I think, depending on
Well, we actually would shadow too, because I remember I had the shadow Jinx.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I think the first time I remember they used to always have me singing Congratulations. Y'all remember that song?
Yes. By Vesta Williams. Yes.
I used to they used to be like, wow, she can sing it just like that. I would love to hear how I sounded back then. Probably didn't quite sound like, I was in the 7th grade with some 9th graders listening to me. So I probably wasn't jamming all that hard, but to them. But no, I just remember people cornering me doing that. Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yep.
Hey, so you're in the industry. I mean, you've done so much. What are you doing like right now? What is your what's some of the stuff that you got going right now?
So I have a few different things going on. I'm signed to my blog now, which is Warren Campbell. I don't know if you're familiar with him, with his label. Warren Campbell is the guy who discovered Mary Mary. He's married to Erica from Mary Mary.
I was like, I know this name. I was like, I know this name. Okay.
He's so dope. He did a bunch of stuff on my first album. We've worked a lot together. I've known him for more than 20 years at this point. And I'm signed to him. He did a compilation album called Warren Campbell Presents My Block. And so everybody that's on the label has a song, and then we do songs together. I have a song in there called Stressed Out, which ironically is like the most popular song on the compilation.
Oh, wow.
Because a lot of the artists on there are gospel artists, right? And you know what I mean? Or just kind of, and I don't want to say gospel because that sounds, because a lot of people think it's a gospel label. It's not. You know what I'm saying? But Mary Mary is the anchor of the label. So people kind of assume that. Yeah. But my song happens to be the most popular song. And the crazy part about it is it's a song that we wrote like kind of at the last minute because we were trying to finish it up for the compilation. And he was like, what you want to write about? And I was like, I don't know. Let's just do something about being stressed out. You know what I'm saying? Let's tell people not to be stressed out. So right when we were about to start promoting the song, we did a couple shows, you know what I'm saying, in LA. Right when we were about to do that, COVID.
God darn it.
So right we there. This was like, well, dang, you know what I mean? So now we're about to shoot a video for the song.
Oh, okay.
And we're working on some other stuff, but I got that. I got the YouTube stuff. I have several things that I'm working on now. I'm trying to really focus on the single. It's been such an interesting year that I've kind of had to get my mojo back from the music perspective. It's just like,
I think a lot of people have spent the last year just kind of inwardly
trying to figure it out.
I was just like, dang, I'm over here struggling for real. Like, and you realize, okay, it's not just you, but you're like, dang, like this is, and people deal with it in different ways. You got people that ain't tripping on it at all. You know what I'm saying? And then you got people that like me that's like trying to be super, you know what I'm saying? It's so much. So, and being in the house for a year in a pandemic and looking at everything that was happening in our world, it just wasn't real fun.
Agreed.
You say that right. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Tony, before
I was just talking to somebody about.
I'm sorry.
Go
ahead, Joe.
No, I was just talking to somebody about, man, it seemed kind of crazy, but I don't have to look on Twitter anymore.
Wait
and be like, what's going on?
You know
what happened today?
Yes, I said the same thing. I was like, dang, I don't even, you know, I don't have to do all of that. Hold on. I don't have to do all of that anymore. And yeah, it's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic. What you about to say, Z?
So I was gonna ask you like before we like switched over, like, so what is like what would you think was like your like if you had to name like your favorite few songs that you did or the things that you like look back on and be like, man, I can't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like what songs were
That I
those
did?
big for you? Yeah, that you did or that you like worked on or that you sung on?
Okay, so hands down, the biggest, like mine, whatever, is the Whitney Houston stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's not right, but it's okay. I think that's because Whitney Houston was like my
Yeah.
idol.
Yes.
Like everything,
Yeah.
I want to talk like a, sing like a, dance like a, have hair like everything. You know what I'm saying? She was. I wanted to be. So to then turn around and be able to have the opportunity to create specifically for her is like mind blowing. So that's like my number one probably. And then I had this conversation over the weekend with Warren because I was in LA this past week too, and we were talking about this song we wrote together called "Still Your Son," and we wrote it with a specific song in mind, right? And you know, throughout time, you get different questions about songs and what they were about, and yada yada yada. But somebody approached me on Instagram and asked me about this song, and I had never been asked this question before, and I was like, how do you know that? How did you, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did you pick that up? Because nobody's ever asked me. So the song is called Still Your Son, but the song, Still Your Son, but the song is an answer to Billie Jean.
Oh. Oh,
Michael
okay.
Jackson's
Oh,
All
Billie
right.
Jean. Yeah. So it was pretty much, we were
okay.
kind of saying, the hook is why you want to run from me like I'm the police. Ever since I had your baby, it's like you don't know me.
Oh.
You said you'd be there
Wow.
for me, and now you want to play dumb, but the kid is still your son. But the kid is still your son. Nobody's ever asked me that. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm like, that's interesting. And then he asked me another question. I can't remember what it was, but it was dead on. And I'm like, who telling you this stuff? Like it was just, you know, so that's the big one too. And then Stressed Out, which is the song that we're about to shoot the video for. That's like one of my favorites too, I think, because it's such a simple song and it's such a timely song.
Especially,
And
yeah.
so throughout the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
I've literally had conversations with myself like, how you gonna put a song, how you gonna write a song called Stressed Out, telling people not to stress out because it ain't that big of a deal and you doing the opposite.
And you doing, yep,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
like, dang, like, if I would be stressing over like, I mean, and now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just get to you like, and now we out of mayonnaise. And what we gonna do about that? Like, just everything just, let me just be like, oh, child, you worrying me, Johnny. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, it was a very timely song. So that's a song that I'm this close to me right now because it's, you know, it's so relevant.
I think as your friend, I think like
Uh-huh.
the big moments for us was like, I remember seeing you on the Friday soundtrack and we was like, that's Tony. Tony's on the Friday soundtrack. It's going
Like,
down.
Tony.
So I remember
Oh, that's dope. I never even thought about it from y'all perspective.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Friday soundtrack was big. The John B. I do what you say, boo. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite songs. And I'm looking in the liner notes and it says Toni Estes. I said, shut the, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm jamming this song and I hear your voice and I was like, I knew that voice. I knew that. And then probably the last thing was like the Whitney Houston when they said Tony's writing for Whitney Houston. I said, ain't no way. And then I heard the song and then I was like, oh, that's Tony. I can hear it. I hear it all in it.
You know what's weird is I've never thought about it from my friends' perspectives. Like I always just think about what I was going through, but I've never actually thought about what y'all would think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you know what I mean? Like,
because you never
I don't know.
you never would think, you know, I tell people all the time, and I definitely don't want to hijack the show, but what I tell people all the time is like, there are certain points, there's some like when you're in a place and Michael Jordan is like a time. Come over here and tell them this story about so and so. You're like, that's Michael Jordan talking to a ton, like he's a regular dude. And so when you see that as friends, you just be like, that's crazy.
I know. I've never thought about it like that. Because I've never really, because we were all the same in my mind. I mean, and I still feel that way.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel this way. I feel like I've done some really great things. I recognize that I've done some things that are amazing, but at the end of the day, the older I get, you just realize it's a job.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? My certain jobs are more visible, certain jobs are more, but they all just jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some are looked at more like, ooh, but look at they jobs, look at they you working.
He's
You
still
feel me?
working. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
and I've always kind of
Mhm.
viewed it as that. So it never yeah, I've never thought about that. But
Wow.
that's cool to hear.
Yeah, trust me.
Hey, man,
That's cool to hear.
hey, it's a good way. It's a good way to stay humble, though. It's a good way to stay
Yeah, well,
humble.
yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
we, man, as much as we do meet some people that are like just iconic, they're still. I mean, it's still like pretty much you break everything down to the core. Everybody's the same. You know what I mean?
Everybody's the same.
Everybody's the same.
Everybody's
Um,
the same.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, so Tom, you a fan of sports, right?
I saw that and I was like, I'm just gonna, like I like some sport. I be bullcorning with sports. I don't be knowing what I will say. Well, I don't know. Ask me something, and we'll see whether I'm a fan of sports or not.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's start on something that's sports related, but not super sports related.
Okay.
All right. So over this past weekend, I don't know if you are a fan of the NBA, but you know who Kobe Bryant is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know
I know who
that.
Kobe
I
Bryant is. Yeah.
So Kobe Bryant was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame
I
just
saw
this
that.
past weekend,
Uh-huh.
and his wife, Vanessa Bryant, gave the speech for his induction into the Hall of Fame
Saw that.
with Michael Jordan behind her, of course, and it was a very emotional speech.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get y'all's impression of it, man, because I mean, there was a few onions in the house when it was going on,
Bro.
but
Oh,
I don't know
eyes
about
were
that.
sweating a little
Yeah.
bit, little
Yeah.
sweating.
Yeah.
Listen, it's you know what, that Vanessa Bryant, people can, I have this saying that sometimes time is the only thing that redeems you, right? So
Mhm.
people can have all of these opinions about a thing, and sometimes time going by and people having the ability to watch you
Mm.
is the only thing that make people go, oh,
Yeah.
that joker Vanessa Bryant she is, I love how she's dealing with the whole thing. And really, like there's been a lot of, I remember back in the day, there would be pressure on most, like women that marry men that are successful. There's going to be what she just doing, whatever it is, right?
Yep.
But when you think about how young they were when they got married,
Man,
and you
oh
think about how far she stayed out of the way, you
man,
understand? It just played her position, man. I admire it. And from a wife perspective, I cannot imagine um losing a husband, anybody losing their husband, right?
but
But a husband that's that high, you know what I'm saying, is that has an effect on not just your family or your neighborhood, the world.
Yeah.
That's a lot to carry. And you
yeah,
trying to make decisions because you know what I mean? Like, not to veer off, but I just saw where she ended the deal with Nike.
Mm-hmm.
That takes courage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think that, first of all, when I only saw snippets of the speech, but I
Mhm.
saw a picture of her standing next to Michael Jordan and tears just jumped up just because
Yeah.
it's like, I can't take this, is too much. Like, it's so much. So I think she did a great job overall. I think she's doing a great job. And listen, I'm impressed by her, just the way she's handling everything. But she could be a
Mm.
real donkey. Right.
Oh boy,
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, she can
boy.
blame everything on grief.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but she's staying out of the way. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think, Z?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I ain't watched it. Dude, I seen her and I seen Michael Jordan, man. I was like, I can't take this today. I ain't even, man. It was hard for me to watch the funeral, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, I come back and watch it. And like, you know what I'm saying, to your effect too, what you said, Tony, man, just to see her, like, I seen pictures of her and I seen a little bit of her talking with Michael Jordan behind her, and I was just like, imagine have to do this with, I think the more stories I hear about Kobe Bryant being a husband and seeing what kind of husband he was, on top of him being the type of player that he was, you're like, man, Like this dude was like tireless. Like this dude did like he wanted to be the best at everything. I was gonna be the best father, the best husband, the best basketball player, the best businessman. And to know he had so much life in front of him and have to go through all of these things, like from what I understood, she talked about how like he had talked about being in the Hall of Fame for so long, like how important that was to him. And just imagine having to do that for him because he's not here. And what we 40, we 42, 43? That's
That's
crazy,
what I'm
man.
saying.
Yeah.
So great.
It
And to
is.
think, like, even in saying that, it's like, Joker, he bought the helicopter so he can be a better daddy.
Man,
Yeah.
ain't that crazy?
It's like,
Ain't that-
oh my God.
yeah, it's
Yes.
crazy. That's
It's
definitely.
yeah, it's interesting.
You
It's
know,
very interesting.
man, I had a couple of thoughts actually. 'Cause I didn't, man, I actually watched it thinking that MJ was gonna say something, is because I thought he actually had planned on saying something. But then Gigi got, I mean, and Vanessa got up there, and I was just like, whoa. And I mean, the speech she laid out was personal, but it was also professional enough, and it was also just classy enough. I
Yeah.
mean, she reminds me of just like the classic. You know what I mean? And it's crazy when you say we're just 42, 43. Kobe went into the league in the 96 season. That's our graduating year. And you think about it, we actually have grown up with Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
We
I
have.
think that's why it hit.
Yeah.
I think that's why his death hit us a little bit more
Absolutely.
raw. You know what I mean? Because we're like, man, wait a second.
Well,
He's
but
our
just-
age.
Yeah, just
You know
because
what
he's
I'm
our
saying?
age. And I remember like when I tell people all the time, is like we were super big into basketball, man. So I remember being like looking at the college prep magazines and seeing who was ranked in our class, who was, you know what I'm saying? And there was Lester Earl, there was like all these Mike Bibby's, Kevin Garnett was the year before us. So it was like all of these amazing people that we heard about, but everybody talked about Kobe Bryant. It was like, but there's a dude in Philadelphia that's like, he's like different than everybody else. And I remember they talked about Kobe Bryant like that. And then to realize he was the same age as us. And then to see what he did, it was just crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, and he was in the mix when I was just moving to LA. So it was like we was all the same age, and it's like you running into people. We used to run into his sisters a lot, and it's just it was just like, dang, what is it? And to be, I think one of the things that frustrates me most about this situation is so completely senseless.
Yeah.
It just didn't have to be that way,
Agreed.
and it's such a permanent outcome.
Yeah.
And it just makes me sick.
Yeah. And the one thing that I do feel for, I think you kind of mentioned it a little bit, that she has to share Kobe with everybody. Think about this. I mean, you know, somebody that important to you, we're all married here. If your significant other passed on, just think about being reminded every day from every fan, from every news station, from, I mean, you have to,
like
consistently.
consistently.
Consistently be reminded of that person. that has to be hard. I mean, I can only imagine.
Street and see murals and
everywhere you go, everywhere you go. So that takes a lot, and definitely.
Ain't a fun.
Man. So now, speaking of the basketball, we usually do a Choppin section of our NBA.
Okay.
Now, Toni, but your 6'7" brother who done won state, they won state back to back, didn't they?
I know, but I think they did. I keep up with it a little bit, kind of. Like sometimes I watch it.
So how about this?
Okay.
So instead of us going into our full length Choppin mode for the NBA, just tell us, do you have a favorite NBA team and their favorite NBA player at all?
So here's my philosophy.
You know, the Chicago Bulls from MJ
I know all the teams, but I go with I'm with whoever got the cutest hat or the cutest shirt. I'm not a lawyer to it. Like I like we have bomb season tickets to the Mavericks. Ask me how many games I done went to.
Oh,
what?
I go if they playing somebody like, oh, they playing the Lakers.
Yeah.
What's the name gonna be here? LeBron. That'd be the day he out for the game. Like, oh, he ain't here. We can go on and go if y'all want to. Y'all ready to leave? Like, girl, like I just So do I have a favorite team? I probably have. See, and then I'm one like the old people. You know, people like, now I love Kareem now. Like, ma'am, that man been out You know who I really, so I have this thing with underdogs, right? So who I really, really admire, who I really, really like, and is our dang on Allen Iverson.
Oh man, that's
I
easy.
Is that easy?
Oh
It's-
yeah.
Like, I knew he was a dope player, but I admire him for something. And I think so. What's happening with me at this point in my so when they were coming up, we were all kind of around the same age, right?
Mhm.
So you thought about things differently.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about him
Mm.
not that long ago, and I came away from it like annoyed. Like, y'all, this is a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you think about all the pressure and the adversity and but that when you a kid, you're just like, oh, I don't know. They say he did something. But now that I'm a mama,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh nah. You know what I mean? Whatever. And he's overcome so much. Like I like him, but who Ice Water? And you know, like the people that I come up with are always like, Junker, you saying like, you know who I really like? Michael Jordan, like that. Everybody like Michael Jordan. That's not Curry.
Steph Curry.
I like Curry.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is dope.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm going to take this chance to interject right now since we ain't going to have a full chop up. I'm going to tell Gerald and right now let you know that Steph Curry should be the MVP this year because he's been amazing. He led the league in scoring, like the first person to lead the league in scoring after 33 since Michael Jordan. Bro, he carried the team his whole year. He did everything that nobody said he couldn't do. He did it, bro. And when you look at the like tapes, it's like 3 to 4 people on him at you know what I'm saying, during points of games. Like there's nobody else on the team. And for him to do what he did this year, to shoot the way he shot this year, to me, he's the MVP.
I mean, listen, I can. We'll get into detail about that.
So let me say this. Last night we were at the restaurant and they had it on the TV and he was shooting and he had like what's the mouthpiece hanging out his mouth? I told John, I said, he hitting them threes and running around the court like he playing at the Y. My husband looked at me and said, he kind of is playing at the Y a little bit. Like he just like, Junker, I'm just doing stuff. Like I'm killing out here. And I'm like, golly, like, it's like, I didn't know it was even like that. He dope though.
Yeah, said, so this year he had, he went over what, 303 pointers this year again. So he went over 303 pointers for like the 5th time in his career. There's only been one other person that did it and they did it one time. So like it was Ray Allen. I think Ray Allen did it one year. But like outside of that, nobody's ever did what he's doing, and he's did it like multiple years. The way he shoots, man, is crazy. So
crazy.
So I don't have a problem with Curry getting the MVP. Yeah, he's done a lot. But if we're gonna give him the MVP just because he took the team into the playoffs, we can say the same thing about Russell Westbrook, who
we can't.
Another triple
no,
double.
we can't. We can't at all. We can't.
I'm just saying.
Don't even do that.
If that's the justification that we're doing,
no, we're not doing
because
that.
Curry shot the lights out. Yes, he did. We know that's what he does. He shoots. But for me, the MVP should still be Joker because I feel like the man has played consistently great all year long. But hey, I can see your point. And LeBron actually did say that he should be MVP too.
Yeah, LeBron would have been the MVP, but LeBron would have been the MVP if he wouldn't have got hurt. LeBron was well on his way to an MVP this year.
Hey, listen. So what's crazy is Tony. I'm sorry, but
no, I'm loving it.
No, because I know how people be like, I don't understand how grown men be arguing, debating over sports like that.
Oh no.
And I always went back and was like, listen, man, this is like women arguing or debating about the best type of purse.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, I get it.
So
I get it.
Anyway, I just need to bring that up.
Man, whatever. Curry for
MVP.
That's what I got.
No. Man, so some other things happened in the sports world this past weekend. It was actually MMA fight.
But
Z, did you actually see the fight?
Buddy, let me tell you.
I know you did.
Let me do it's Oliveira, I think that's the name. Oliveira versus Chandler, right? Chandler was a champion in Bellator before, which is a different fight, different fighting league. So he got here late. He got the UFC late, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take advantage of my shot, blah, blah, blah. Man, they come out the first round. He is dominating this dude. When I tell you dominating this dude, he is like the dude can't do nothing with him. And I'm like, oh man, he gonna make this seem easy. Man, they came out in the second round. Man, he looked up, got caught with a left, ducked down. When he ducked down, he punched him twice in the face. Pop, pop, hit that cage. He was lost. He was gone. You could see it. I was like, where am I? Who is this?
Bird.
Man, it was so crazy too, because he was dominating. It wasn't like he was winning by a little bit. He was dominating the fight and got caught, and it was over. It was crazy. I think that was the I think that might have been the only. The girls' fight might would have been. I think the girls' fight was actually all right too, but the big fight was the big fight, and it was crazy. Okay. It changed so fast.
I gotta actually point out one thing though. On the prelims, they actually come on regular ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a couple of prelims, and when I say, I think last episode I even said you got to pay me some kind of absorbent amount of money to get in the ring with these guys. So this dude literally broke his arm. You know how they put you in one of them submission holds? Mm-hmm. He got him in like an arm bar submission hold.
Right.
Yeah.
He broke his. They actually played it because there's not a lot of.
If you don't tap out, they'll break. Yeah, if you don't tap out, they'll break your arm or break your leg. Yeah, you got. They played it with no, you know what I'm saying, extra music sounds or announcer sounds. They played it like it was, and you could hear it.
Oh,
I said, and listen to what I'm telling you, Z. The man whose arm got broke got up and said, "Oh," and was just like nothing.
Yeah,
I said, "What?"
Them different
kind of dudes, arm is broke. His arm was like literally dangling.
No.
I was like, man, they don't, bro. Them cats are crazy.
I can't watch MMA. It's too. It made me nervous. I always feel like I'm gonna see somebody down the mat. Like it just makes me so nervous. Like this. Ooh.
That's how.
I can't watch. I can barely watch regular boxing, let alone that. But they breaking legs and crap.
That's how MMA was when it first started. When they first started, and they didn't have the weight classes. Like they would just get in and fight people. I couldn't watch it then because I felt like you would see something. I was like, I don't want to see this. So it's got better than what it was when it first started, but it's still, you can still see some stuff that you ain't supposed to. And then shoot, while we playing, last week Canelo in the boxing match, Canelo was fighting Billy Joe Sanders, and they were fighting. Everything was regular. Mm-hmm. Canelo
broke his face.
Bam, broke his orbital. He broke his like face. I was like, how do you do that? Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
I ain't got it in me.
But you remember coming up when it was all about Tyson, you know what I mean? The boxing world was all about Tyson.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. These dudes nowadays, man.
Tyson ain't never broke nobody's eyesight.
I'm seeing some knockouts.
But let me ask y'all this. Do y'all remember we was little and the fight was gonna come on, you had to go to 7-Eleven and get a scrambler? Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
A scrambler.
Where you get a scrambler?
Yeah, so you can watch the fight. The scrambler, so you can get the cable channel.
Put it on the back of the TV. Like, oh, my mama didn't get a scrambler tonight for the match. Like, just so old school. I think the scrambler was probably about $75. You know, them was big bucks.
Oh my God.
Then, like,
I remember
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I remember we was in high school, and the first time I went to Omari's house, and her dad had that big satellite outside, and I was like, how does this even work? I've never seen this in a black household.
Like they're picking up channels from all over the place.
All over the place.
Like, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
Oh man. Hey, so that's pretty much all we had on our sports chop. And so usually we transition over and we talk about politics, semi-news, what's going on in the world.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I see that's up your alley. I actually have to say, your post. I be seeing your post. I was like, oh yeah.
Trying to keep it light.
You know what I was gonna say? I have and I've actually commented on a couple of them, Tony, because I knew exactly what you was going with before you even said it.
Yes. Like, I mean, and here's the thing. I've never been like, politics has never been like my thing, right? I always think like people are people. Like we've lived through several elections, right? Mm-hmm. And I have never cared when somebody voted different from me. I've never cared about you having strong, it's just like, oh, that's what they do. But this is different.
Yep.
This climate is different. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand, I don't think, how different it is.
Oh.
Agreed.
Mhm.
And that's concerning.
No, definitely
That
agree.
is true. And
Concerning.
you know what? With that being said, because tribalism is a part of it, I believe.
Yeah, it
But I
is.
believe this goes beyond tribalism. You know what I mean? Like I feel like politics has become almost religious.
Oh,
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Yes.
people have dug in. You got your deep Baptists, and then you got your Episcopalians,
Yes.
and then you got all these different types of factions. But the root of it is I'm sticking with my folk over here. You know what
Yes.
I mean? No matter what.
Yes.
I don't care if they're wrong. I don't care.
I
If they
think the thing
lie, whatever the case
the thing
is.
that throws me off about that though, it's like it's all right, man. You know what I'm saying? My pops is a Democrat, my mom's is a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have in my family who I can think about have been Democrats for years. So you know what I'm saying? It's cool to tell me, hey, my
Right.
dad's a Democrat, my family, blah, blah, blah. But when you
Right.
start
Right.
seeing Democrats doing something that goes against your personal morals. Like now, so if I'm gonna be a Republican and I'm gonna preach hate and I'm gonna preach racism, I can't, to me, I'm from a long line of
I can't
Republicans
rock
don't
with
fly no more. It doesn't fly no
you.
more.
No, it doesn't. And I don't see it's like our thought processes now are so baked in that no
Yep.
matter what you show
They ain't gonna
them,
believe
they
it.
can see it. And
Yep.
it's like they see it like from a complete, it's like, that's what you got out of that? Like we looking at this same thing, and that's what
Yes.
you pulled from it? Like, I
Yes.
mean, it's like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I really don't um everything now they've they equated to what party you're in.
Yep.
And I have a real problem with that because um I keep hearing, like we all know that everything that they hang their not everything, but mostly what Republicans hang their hat on is uh LGBT issues and abortion,
Abortion issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
always like the top whatever's, and they
Mm-hmm.
do every and and so now you add a little sprinkle, a little QAnon in there, and now they making it about saving kids, and when it's really not, you know what I'm saying? It's so the water is so muddy at this point.
Agreed.
And my thing is like they've kind of made the pedophile stuff, they've made that all about Democrats. But I'm like, so you mean to tell me ain't no Republicans ever, ain't no perverts in the Republican Party? Are you freaking kidding me?
Man.
Like that don't even make sense. Humans are humans. They don't say, "Oh Lord, I'm a pervert. I was about to get in the Republican Party, but then I seen the rule book." No, that's not what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Weirdos are gonna be wherever they are. You know what I'm
That
saying?
is true.
Yeah, and to like
That is true.
reduce it to one party is stupid and it's dangerous and it's just a whole lot of stuff that
I've always said this, and I've been big on it.
uh-huh.
I just want people to do what works. Just do what works. When government or when the party lines drop over doing what works, that to me makes zero sense whatsoever.
Right.
Because, like for instance, when COVID became a catchword for you either on one side of this or you on the other side. You're either a masker or you're not a masker.
Yeah.
You're either a what is it? What was it again? Hydrochloroquine.
Yes.
Or you're non-hydrochloroquine.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, people started putting this stuff into parties, and I'm just thinking there are countries out here who have, the vaccine, or not the vaccine, but the COVID-19 under control. Why don't we do what they did?
Australia.
No, because we're
America.
We do things
Australia.
Our own way. I'm like,
Australia had like a month.
Yeah.
They had like a month, and they was like, you know what? This thing is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on lockdown. Don't do nothing. Be at home for a month. They gave everybody a salary to be at home for a month and take care of themselves. And then, like after a month, they didn't have no more cases.
We good. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of what I learned too over the pandemic is like these motherfuckers out here really selfish.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's like,
so
you would rather kill off everybody because you don't want to do a thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to wear a mask. I think it's stupid. My body, my choice. But yeah, you want to be all in my uterus though.
Agree.
saying? Tell me what I can and can't
Agreed.
do. Like,
Yeah.
what you have to pick a struggle.
How do
You
you
know what
even
I'm saying?
say
Like,
that?
I mean, not being, but I mean,
Yeah. How do
how do
you
you even say that? Like, you shouldn't even feel good about even arguing with me about this mask being
that
that you
I
trying
just
to
told
run.
you that,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
like you can't have abortions, but this mask I have chose. Like, no,
Right.
that's this is
Yeah.
mm.
Right.
Personal choice.
It's
Personal.
not, it's,
Wait. Personal choice. All
yeah.
right. Before because we can stay to her and do summarizations all day.
Yes.
I do want to get to some specifics of
Okay.
things that have actually happened here just recently.
Okay.
Because one of the things we like to do here at Chopping It Up is chop it up about current events and things that have occurred over the past week. And one of the things that has happened over the past week was the Republican Party sort of rallying behind Trumpism.
Yes.
And we know that
I'm
for a
sorry.
fact because over the past week, they officially not kicked out of the party, but Liz
her out of her
Cheney,
leadership
who was the number
position.
three,
Yeah, they put
Mhm.
a
who was the
leadership.
number three, actually was forced out of her leadership position from the Republican Party. Why? Is it because she, I don't know, held a certain standard of conservatism that they didn't like? Was it
No,
some
she was out in front
was it
about
because of
January the
some
6th. She was out in front about January the 6th. She called Donald Trump
Mhm.
out on it. She said this is not right. This is an attack on our democracy. She said everything that a regular person should say. And what we keep
Right.
on talking about is people this January the 6th thing, like the further we get away from it, the more Republicans are trying, oh, it was just a so-and-so. They were there to kill y'all. They were there to
Yeah.
take hostages. They were there. They was
Yes.
not there to be fun and play games. Let's not act like,
No,
you know what I'm saying? And they keep on acting like it was just a small situation. No, it wasn't.
it was not. It was
Yeah.
not. And you know the bizarre thing to me about that particular situation is Liz Cheney is a start. She like a conservative, like
boy.
for real, right?
Yes.
Like I can't think of nothing I
I-
probably would agree with on.
Probably two things.
Two things, right? Right. So it's like,
and one of them is I'm black.
right. One of the ones you can't get around. Like, okay,
I don't know what else to say.
right. No, for real. And it's like, so she's true to what conservative people represent. So it's like, how do y'all let one person come in y'all party who has a history of being untruthful convince y'all to change up all of y'all rules and get on the lie bandwagon? I just don't understand it. And I believe in my heart of hearts, it's going to backfire. It's not going to come out like they thinking it's going to come out.
Agreed.
I think it's ridiculous. And I'm glad she just stood her ground, like, put me out. Like,
Yep.
put
I
me
ain't
out.
changing. I ain't changing. Guess what I ain't doing?
Well, you know, to me, the sad part and the thing that kind of gets to me is the fact that the Republican Party, I mean, I bet you if you actually did poll most black folks, they would agree with, you know, a lot of what a conservative should be for. You know what I mean? Like, bro, how many old black guard do we have? We know half of the stuff the Republicans agree on, they would agree on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was sitting up here watching, I can't remember, I think it was one of the senators from Louisiana. I don't like their policies on economy at all, pretty much.
Right.
But some of the things that he says are catchwords for a lot of folks. So basically, he was talking about how we may be seeing some inflation coming up pretty soon. And then he brought up what most people, you can look down your Facebook feed and most people will say this. He said, we don't need to be giving checks to people because they're not going back to work based off the last economic report. And I guarantee you, if people just took that soundbite and you poll tested it with us, the old guard, black folk, we gonna be like, yeah, don't be paying them no money to sit at home and do nothing. I'm out here working too. But what they don't understand is the government's only paying these people like an extra $400, $300.
That's what I'm saying. Like
these people, this is not a regular job.
They still selling fish plates on the side to make ends meet.
Exactly.
Like it's not, it's, and you're right. It's these buzzwords, and people jump on these bandwagons. Here's one of the things that I have when it comes to that kind of thing, because you know, I feel so blessed and so grateful that during the pandemic we didn't feel it at all. You know what I'm saying? If anything, because my husband owns the title company, if anything, life may have gotten better, right?
Yeah.
And
With
so I
this housing
feel,
market going crazy.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm super grateful for that. But I do realize that it wasn't that way for everybody, right? And so what I look like saying, well, they need to, like, that's ridiculous. That's complete, you know what I'm saying? Like people have, and it's like it's a cluster, really, a lot of times, because you got, okay, the mama needs to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Because she, you know what I'm saying? Because she a frontline worker. Like a lot of times we are brown people, black people,
Mm-hmm.
and she needs to go to work, but yet the particular district she live in, they're not back at school.
Yep.
And the kids gotta be at home and the daycare is closed. So what are we to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What is that mom to do? Like, you know what I'm
No.
saying? Like, you gonna leave a 6-year-old home? Then you're gonna put me in jail for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't have it. And this whole thing, we shouldn't be paying people to stay. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't somebody that just ain't trying to do nothing and they never did nothing. Sure. But all of these corporate bailouts we doing, that's high end welfare.
Exactly.
That's high end welfare.
Man.
You know what
So
I'm saying? Like,
Could have
when
and
said
my
it better
thing too,
myself.
and my thing too is like, so did you see? I know this probably ain't on the topic or the agenda, man, but did you see how many people were how many people like restaurants, you go into restaurants and they're like, hey, we're closed because we don't have no staff, or like people ain't going back to McDonald's, people ain't going back to Arby's, people ain't going back to Sonic. And so the thing is, like, people are like, well, people ain't going back to work. People are not going back to these $5 job, you know what I'm saying, $5 an hour jobs.
yes.
Yeah.
Why would I go and
Yes.
put myself at risk to make this little bit of money when I could make this
Yes.
little bit of money? Because if you think about it, $300 extra a week, that's $1,200 a month, probably with $1,200 more of unemployment. You know what I'm saying? That's $2,400 a month. That's not enough for you to be like, well, I'm gonna take this $2,400 and live high off the hog for the next 6 months. Like, who does that?
No, they don't, because when you think about it, it's like, okay, we got that little extra here, but Joker, we here all day, so them lights is on all day and this air is hitting
Man.
all day. And you know what I'm saying? You got extra, yeah, these they running in and out of the refrigerator all day. So it's a different, you know, and I feel like that is why it's important for us to pick leadership that gets it. You know
Agreed.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because
Yep.
if
Yeah.
you were born, lots of times, and this is not true for everybody, but lots of times when people are born with the silver spoon in their mouth and they've
Mhm.
never dealt with any adversity, they don't understand why you can't just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like, what are you
Man.
talking about?
Did it
Like, dude, like
with
everything
the
in my neighborhood is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
Yes.
it's annoying.
yeah, I mean
Yes.
the first thing they'll be like is I did this, so you should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Or I love this now. Post Obama, we've had a black
We've
president.
had a black president.
Like, oh,
There's no more
so it
racism.
couldn't be racist in this
Yeah,
joke.
we've had a
Like,
black president.
like what y'all gonna complain about?
What does that have to do with it?
Y'all called him
yeah,
every
so
name in the book.
seriously, the one
Question
thing,
where he was from. Like, come on now.
yo,
The one that
man.
killed me is when I seen a video where this lady, I was like, oh Lord Jesus. When this lady is in his face, and you like,
And
man,
he is
like,
still
put
being
your
just
finger in the president's face. Now you feel me? Like my mama said, now you feel mistreated if I slapped you. Like it's like, dude, like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
oof, that is getting me started.
oof. Yeah, I mean seriously, the other disrespect that oof. That's
Yeah.
that's another story all in
Yes,
itself.
for a different day.
Because you're gonna have me reliving some of that stuff and being like, I can't believe, boy.
Yes.
Ooh, when he shouted out, "You lie" in his
Ooh.
speech. Oh man, I wanted to get up and somebody grab that.
Wow, please let me get me started. Yes.
Oh Lord Jesus!
Yes.
I just say Obama's better than all of us.
Yes.
Lord,
Man, man.
Oh wait, yeah, way better.
man. Oh my goodness. So another thing that was going on in current events is the never-ending conflict.
Oh, here.
Oh my gosh.
I thought you was gonna talk about the
Bro.
mask first. Are we talking about the mask or are we talking about Israel?
Oh, we can go to the mass first and then jump over to that if you want to.
So Tony, I've been on a personal mass mission this whole week. Like me and Gerald and the time have like a group text message, and it has like bothered me that we went from where we're like, hey, everybody needs to wear masks and we need to continue to wear masks until we get through blah 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 blah. Then all of a sudden y'all come out and be like, well, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask inside a building. You don't have to wear this and so. Then so and so. And then like a week later, you come back and say like, hey, if you vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask inside or outside. So how many people are vaccinated right now? Oh,
We don't know.
about 36% of the country is vaccinated. So you mean to tell me about 70% of this country ain't? And y'all want me to go and start walking without no mask when we just came out of a whole year of this foolishness? Oh, that.
Yep.
So I've been very upset
Yeah,
about
so
that.
I get it. Because what I think, because even in Vegas, I was like, so these jokers gonna be out here just, I mean, they won't, you gonna take your mask off. Because me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be wearing mine for a little bit. Like,
Man.
I gotta have it. But I think what happened is they said it thinking people was gonna be like,
Yay.
like, yeah, I can, so the people that's vaccinated cannot wear their mask. So that means I need to get vaccinated. Nah, yeah, that's what they was trying to do. But these jokers out here, I'm like, oh, it's on the honor system? Child, please. These jokers
Mask
ain't
off.
never, mask off, ain't
Mask
students either.
off.
Off. And like,
Give us free.
like, we just ain't no way to tell whether they, like, that's the thing to make it like tricky, like, so, because I think it was Bill Maher that tested positive for COVID. He's been vaccinated.
And he's been vaccinated. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like he just getting everybody else sick because he's not getting sick himself. He was like what you call asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. Yeah.
So it's like I just seen a guy, Fat Man Scoop. You know what it is? A DJ?
Yeah. Getting in the
He did a
club.
thing on his Instagram page.
Yeah.
He was like, listen, that is not. He's like on the tail end of COVID. He was like, listen, y'all can play these games if y'all want to. He was like, this ain't what you want.
Yeah.
He was like, COVID, not what you want. He was like, I literally had to talk myself out of dying. I'm like, I think people don't respect it.
Hey, ain't that the truth? They don't respect it
until they see
it actually comes up and bite somebody who they know in the buttocks. Then they respect it. Then they want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I gotta say this though, man. So the one thing that I will say is I feel like the CDC has they've suffered from communication issues.
Great.
But you would think that the changeover from when Trump was in office to when Biden was in office, I don't understand why they're not having daily, still to this day, daily, hey, we just came out of COVID. We just had, because I still think people forget how many people are dead because of COVID. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a number.
They still need to have that number on the side for how many people died. What was you about to say, Zeke?
No, what I was gonna say, just like to that effect though, I just feel like people get out here, man, and they just be like, well, you know what I'm saying, it's this and that and this and that. And I'm like, man, people are still dying. So last week, the New York Yankees had 7 staff members test positive for COVID-19. All seven of the members were fully vaccinated. They were all fully vaccinated. So the thing is,
and they were vaccinated Johnson & Johnson, weren't they?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm saying I think I heard them talking
Probably.
about
it. Could have been though.
They talked about it.
Yeah, it could have been too.
And I was like, listen,
but so the thing too,
Johnson & Johnson is getting like the worst rep.
Right,
They're just getting the worst rep with this vaccine, man. If you ask anybody, oh, which one do you want? You want the Pfizer? You want the Moderna? You want the Johnson & Johnson? Oh, no.
Just don't give me the Johnson & Johnson.
Hold up, sir. I'll take that
Johnson & Johnson
2 times over, please.
Man.
Yeah,
you were saying, so you said 7 people.
Yeah, so 7 people, they were all fully vaccinated and they all got it afterwards though. And so it's just, to me, I think also to go back into the CDC and the communication problem, they should be having like a daily briefing and they should be running this by somebody. Like they should, to me, at this point, the CDC don't get their own opinion just to be like, blah, like,
Right.
No,
right,
y'all run this by the president and the president approve it before y'all start talking.
For y'all say, and I think, and I'm with you, I think they've had a hit to their credibility over the last year or so. And, it's, things have come out where it's like, and I felt that way anyway. It's like, because the last person at the White House was so concerned with optics, it's like, now you want to be running the CDC too? And telling them what to say because you don't want it to look bad because all of these, it's like, just has nothing to do with the good of the people. It's just, I just don't want y'all out here making me look bad.
Yeah.
How
And
we
that,
not-
but
hard.
How we
With
not
him
believe in
doing that,
science
though,
no
it-
more? Like, how do we not believe in science?
Yes.
These people don't went to school to be
God.
science. Like they know about medicine and the body. And you went to school to do business loans. Like, bro, that's not your lane.
And you
can't
barely
tell
made it
them.
through that.
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
you barely made it through that. Like, you know, it's
Hey.
true. I mean, because somebody was saying, I seen some on Instagram the other day that said, imagine spending your whole life dedicating it to learning vaccines and medicine and sickness and whatever. And you find yourself arguing and trying to disprove somebody in their YouTube basement making videos giving health information. Like,
yes,
this makes sense to you. First of all, look at when they started the channel last month. And you deem this person more of an expert because everything has been politicized at this point.
You know, I think that's what gets to me even more, especially because, you know, we see it on social media so much. And I think sometimes the best thing to do is just turn off social media.
Turn off.
Jesus. Man, I don't want to talk bad about anti-vaxxers, or whatever they're called. Or the woke people who, you know what I'm saying, feel like they're trying to kill us off with this vaccine.
Right.
I don't want to talk bad about them because I understand their concerns.
Right. The foundation of where it comes from. Right.
Yeah.
Especially for black people. Especially for black people.
Right.
Y'all,
Oh yeah.
Right.
So my thing is never to actually talk bad about somebody who feels like, you know what I'm saying, there's no trust in the CDC or the government or so forth and so on. I understand that.
Right.
I think we all can understand that.
Yeah, of course.
What I don't like though is that the noise of people's opinion drowning out experts. If you're sick, people trust going to the hospital. If you're bleeding out, you're not going to be like, I don't trust the emergency room. No, you're going to say, get me to the emergency room.
Yeah.
I want to trust the doctor who knows vaccines, who knows what COVID is. Honestly, I still don't even know what COVID is, where it came from, all this stuff. I'm going to trust the person whose expertise it is to tell me what mRNA is.
Right.
What does that mean? How does that affect humans? You know what I'm saying? This is the first type of vaccine, mRNA or whatever the case, that's ever come out. Usually the vaccine has a piece of that stuff in it.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is completely different.
Right.
So
Right. And it
tell me, doc, I don't want to listen to Chuck Carlson tell me not to wear a mask. I want to listen to the doctor tell me something.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just think that had a little gnat or something. I'm like, what? Hold on, what is it? I think that you know, it's I'm with you. Like, I try not to, because sometimes I pose a question like, why are you getting it or not getting it? You know, just to kind of see what people are thinking and what their thought process is. And for me, like, it's a personal decision, right? I believe that if you don't want to get the vaccine, you don't have to. My problem is, I don't want to see you online calling me stupid because I like just don't get it. But you know, like somebody said the other day, like I seen somebody saying they were getting the vaccine and they said, oh, I'm gonna trust these doctors like I used to trust my heroin dealer. How do I not, like, oh, I can, you know what I'm saying? It's like you get stuff all day, every day. But you don't know where it came from. And you trust it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I guess they were recovered. But it's like, dude, like, well, I'm gonna get funny now. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to take that really.
Who was it? I think it was Chris Rock this morning. I think I heard him say something like, I don't even know what's in Fritos. But I'm eating it.
Definitely not hot dogs.
I don't know what's in this meat, but I'm sure eating it.
You're taking a risk either way.
Yeah. We watched the you know, I told me and my wife was watching the Kevin on Stage the social distance things, and he had a dude on there, and the dude was a comedian. He was a funny comedian too, but I guess his day job was like he was a pharmacist. And he like told a story about his homeboy telling him that they were trying to take his DNA. And he was like, bro, they don't send us like a black white batch of vaccines and a white one. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? He said, I went to medical school, got all this stuff, and you sit on the corner all day and you're gonna tell me what's going on with medicine. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what bothers me is it's all right. It's your personal choice. Like I said, or like you said, Tony, it's your personal choice. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's on you. That's cool. I would like to know that before you came to my house, because I don't really want you at my house if you want to get vaccinated.
Right,
That's a whole nother
listen.
story though. But you know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is
Right.
though, don't talk to me like I'm stupid for getting vaccinated because you chose not to. That's what bothers me.
That's what bothers me. It's like, because it's disrespectful, and it's so many things.
It's
And I'm like,
condescending.
it's condescending. And it's
Yeah.
like, how have we gotten to this place where, like, so do I need to call you and make sure that I should take antibiotics if I get strep throat? I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't like, where do we draw the line on this? And I think that
Antibiotics. No, they trying to kill you.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Trying to steal
Right,
your
like,
DNA. Like, what?
It just sounds
Yes.
so, like, one of my friends was saying,
It's a chip that goes inside of your stomach, and they can know where you're at all times.
like, what? We were talking about just some of the stuff that's fundamentally, maybe sometimes, because I not to get too far off the whatever, but like, our history as Black people has been, dicey with government, right?
Right.
And so fundamentally, there's some things we kind of like, you know what I mean, whatever. And so I was talking to one of my friends about how she was trying to encourage people to fill out the census, right? Like,
Yeah, which is important.
Like, we know they already know where I am. Yeah, but like the saying goes, the money doesn't follow the money follows the people. It don't follow the need.
Yep.
So if you have a need and it don't look like it's no people over there,
you ain't gonna get no money.
Get no hospital out north, because it only look like it's 10 people to live out north. So why would we build a hospital? You know what I'm saying? Or give funds for that kind of thing. But we were talking about that, and she was saying that one of her nephews or cousins or something was saying that he didn't want to fill out the census because they was trying to get the number so Trump could know how many vaccines he needs to send out north.
Was it? I'm pretty sure that was serious though.
I don't even know.
Now.
Dead, she said she's talking about
serious.
everybody can't go. Everybody ain't gonna be able to go. I'm just sick of explaining. And my thing is, it's, to me, what I don't understand about some of the conspiracies, they're such low level conspiracies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they need a count to come up with, Joker? Ain't nobody supposed to be. You think they depending on, if they gonna force some people to get vaccinated? You think they waiting on that? No, Joker, they gonna send a million vials out there. If we got too many, we'll send this back. We'll need to know, figure out how many. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't like when we do each other like that. Like, if you don't want to get vaccinated, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to make me
I kind of wish the only thing I do wish is that the misinformation could be down to a minimal. Just bring that
it
down
has
to a
to be.
minimal, and that would be helpful.
leading us to a bad place.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, speaking of misinformation, though, I do want to make sure that people who are watching understands that from the studies, when you are vaccinated, even if you're asymptomatic, you actually spread the virus
You
less.
can still spread the. Oh, okay.
You can still spread it.
Spread it,
but
though.
it spreads at a less percentage to other people, even if you're asymptomatic. So I just don't want people using that excuse saying, "Oh, they vaccinated, they still caught COVID." Yeah, you can still get COVID.
Yeah.
It still operates that way, but you have a 99% chance of not getting severely sick and spreading the virus. So I just want to make sure people are aware of that.
Can I say one last thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think people, one of the things I hear a lot, like, Junker, you ain't gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, they act like it's like listen, there's a lot of things between death. It's a lot of levels before you get to death. Like I mean, like, death is worst case scenario, but it's a lot of other raggediness that you know what I'm saying? So people feel like, oh, I ain't gonna die, so I'm good. I have a couple of friends who had it and they were cautious and all of that stuff, and they ended up getting it. And they dealing with some real adverse effects.
Yes.
Like, serious adverse effect. That's what I was concerned with. Like, I don't want to get, you know what I'm saying? Because it would suck to get over it and then be like, to have some kind of weird whatever. So that's something people need to keep in mind. It ain't always about dying.
Yeah. I mean,
I tell people
anything that can cause blood clots in your body.
Yeah, that too. I tell people all the time. I have I had an agent, and she had got COVID, like, man, probably maybe April of last year. And once she got back to work and everything, man, I would be talking to her, and like in mid sentence, she'd be like, "What are we talking about?" I'd be like, and she couldn't, man, she struggled to remember stuff. She would, to the point where she would have to write down conversations in the conversation so her to remember what we were talking about. So, and that's what I tell people all the time. I seen one of my agents was like, she was like, I am sleeping, like I am like tired to the world at 4:30, like 5 o'clock. I have to lay down and I am sleeping to the next day and I have barely enough energy to make it to 5 o'clock again. You know what I'm saying? So I kept on telling people, man, like we keep on talking about, well, I ain't gonna die or this and that, man. What happens when you get the blood clots in your lungs, or you're not breathing no more the right way, or you know what I'm saying? You can't remember stuff no more. So like,
right, it's level.
Yeah.
Oof. So man, I hate to actually bounce off of COVID real quick, but
no.
So two other things real quick. I do want to get y'all's opinions on. Number one, currently in the news, Israeli and Palestine is going at it again. This is like the constant. I haven't even been following politics very long, but I do know one thing that I have noticed on news stations, even when we was little. There's always been Israeli and Palestinians going at it.
That's something that's been going on since the Bible days.
Yeah, exactly. So part of me sometimes feels like it's giving so much weight on our end just because of what we've given to Israel. Because you don't hear about a lot of things that happen in African countries or the Sudan, but you always hear about rockets and Israel firing back over here on Palestine, the Palestinian and Israeli conflict. You always hear about it. What are y'all thoughts on that, man? Just if y'all have any thoughts at all.
For me, it's weird because my husband, one of my husband's best friends in the whole world, and his business partner is Jewish, right? And so we do different stuff, they're Jewish, whatever. So we have, and I grew up with a lot of you did too. At Carver, we had a bunch of Jewish friends. So it, to me, from afar, it's like so complicated. Yeah. Because you're going, so who, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I saw a Jewish guy post something the other day, and it made a lot of sense, but it's like it's a very convoluted conversation because you don't know, because when I look at it, I'm like, this is probably how people overseas feel about black, you know what I mean? As they looking at the news, they're like, well, why do black people so mad? Well, why they, you know what I'm saying? Like when they don't really have a full understanding of the history and everything, they kind of looking at it from the news perspective and don't, you know what I'm saying, have a full understanding. So sometimes it can look like, oh, they just crazy over there and ungrateful and tripping. You know what I'm saying? But that's because they don't really have a true understanding of the whole thing, right? And I kind of feel like that's kind of how this is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what part am I missing? Because surely they're just this mad. Like, why so aggressive?
Man, and I think the biggest thing is over here, whenever you talk about it, people want you to take sides.
Yeah, that's what but here's to me, my thing is, and I'll never say nothing about it, man, just because I don't understand it enough.
That's me. That's right.
I don't understand it enough. And the crazy thing is, like, it for the most part, anytime you talk to somebody, they're a certain side, and everything they say sounds and makes sense. I have never heard somebody be like, this is what's going on. And you'd be like, what? That don't make no sense. Every time I hear it, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Then I hear the other side and I'd be like, well, I'd be mad about that too. So,
So like, if you talk, it's crazy because like, I remember, actually talking to a pastor at one time, because if you talk to anybody who's in the church, especially out here in the South, they're going to be pro-Israel no matter what. It's, you can't mess with Israel. You can't touch Israel. That's why they're having stuff going on or whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So there's an amount of religion that's involved in this as well, too.
Absolutely.
So one thing that I will say, though, is because like what you guys said, you can talk to one person who's pro-Israel and they'll bring up the worst thing that a Palestinian has ever done. And it don't, because they want you to be like, oh, well, they crazy.
Right.
They'll say, okay, well, the news will say, 6 Palestinian kids killed. And then you ask somebody else about it, and they'll say, well, they were using them as human shields. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out who's more morally bankrupt and who's more morally bankrupt enough that I don't want to follow them. No, the thing that gets me is that this has been going on for so long and so many lives are lost. I bet you the lives that have been lost don't even know why it's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is.
It's like the never-ending gang war that you look up and you like, why y'all fighting? They like, because.
No, it seemed like it was something with Peanut and them like
Yeah.
several years ago, but I can't remember the original reason. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's scary.
That's what it
Yeah.
is,
I mean,
man.
it's really sad because
It-
somebody said something the other day. They said, I think Rihanna made a post and she was trying to say like, y'all, we got to get it together. And somebody criticized and was like, you sound like all lives matter. Like that was kind of, but it's like, I don't know enough.
Yup. But that's why
It's like,
that's why you got to be quiet if you don't know nothing though, because you'll step into that. Yeah.
Right. Because I'm like, I got Jewish people, lots of them that I love. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say nothing where I think I'm saying something good and saying something completely.
You know what,
Man,
I say
I'm sorry.
say the same thing to anybody who, if you don't know something or if I don't know something, I'd rather just be like, man, what do you think? Since this affects you, you tell me how you feel.
Man,
I'm just gonna respect how you feel. That's it.
Like when Nancy Pelosi said that about George Floyd, like I think she had the greatest intent. Like I think she was trying to make a strong message, but she said the wrongest thing, and I was just like, whoa.
And she wasn't trying. She was like, "Thank you for giving up your." I mean, and she
thank you for sacrificing your life. And I was like,
yeah, she wasn't meaning it like that, but it came up like, oh,
not that.
I know her. I know her speechwriters came to her and was like, Nancy.
You
No,
but
that wasn't it.
Okay.
They was like, that lady. Somebody said that lady is 800 years old, y'all.
Yeah.
Her and Maxine Waters, like the same class.
Well, Aunt Maxine be talking, and sometimes I do be like, oh, dang, Auntie Maxine, that was a little too much, but hey, go ahead.
Yeah, held it down.
It's Annie. Hey, man, so before we end up the political chop, I got one quick question, and I want just your grade only, maybe a sentence or so. Biden's first 100 days or so plus in office, what would you grade him?
Oh, that's tough.
Put you on the line.
Okay, I'm going to say, I'm gonna say a B plus, right? The only reason that because there's a lot of dynamics, right? And so he had to clean up a whole lot of stuff. He got to undo a whole lot of stuff and just kind of get us a little bit back on, like a little more stable ground. And it's 100 days.
Yeah.
Like Jacka, it ain't much you can do in 100 days. You know what I'm saying? So
the wheels of government move real slow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I would say a B plus. I know that he's getting some flack about, promises that he's made to the Black community and all of that stuff, right? But I think
from who, Dr. Umar?
No, from Z. From Z.
From Z. Well, let me say this. I know I was only supposed to say a sentence. I told my mom, I said, and I could be wrong about this, right? I said, but this feels like one of those situations where you're trying to surprise, just say you're trying to surprise your wife, right? And you're like, oh, I got her something on her birthday, but she keep asking. And it's gonna take some time for me to get it together. I don't want to keep talking about what I'm gonna get. So let's do this, and then I say ta-da. But in the meantime, she pissed because she feeling like this joker ain't got me nothing for my birthday, whatever. And you really doing something great, but it's gonna take real, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And so I'm like, maybe that's it. Like we can't get on and make an announcement about everything. Because when you're trying to do something big, something that's real significant, it's gonna take more than signing something into whatever. It's gonna take more than oh yeah, because our whole dynamic is very complicated.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Level playing field has to be there. We got to fix the money issues in the Black community, the housing issue, the job. We got to fix a whole lot of things, and it's not anything simple. You know what I'm saying? If it was simple, like quit being mean to Black people, sign it, and we good. Oh, then I'd be mad at this point. But since I feel like it's such a complicated issue, it's gonna take some real whatever. Because you're trying to do the real big surprise. Not that he doing a surprise, but you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying when I say that though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you kind of really, really do something jamming and not just the birthday cake and the flowers, you trying to do the new car and the, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whatever, it's like she gonna be mad at me for a while. I'm gonna think I'm a liar, but she gonna be happy once we get it done. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Right
You know
now.
what, Tony? I'm
See,
gonna
what
give
you
you
think?
that, man, because I was just supposed to get on here and be like, I'm gonna give him a C plus. That's what I got for him. I got a C plus because I feel like he hasn't. I feel like his victory was on the backs of a lot of black people.
Oh,
A lot of black people. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to have seen him do more, address more with black people up front. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna take Tony's word tonight, and I'm gonna give him some time because
what would you like to see happen? Like if you could say, ask me, and I'm gonna tell you what I would like to see happen. Just out of curiosity, you know what I'm saying? Like, because maybe I got a blind spot.
no, my thing is, I talk all the time. That's what I do in my life. And so me and one of my coworkers was talking last week, and we were talking about reparations and like how do you fix situations with black people? And I was like, well, something would have to be done for it. Something has to be done for housing. We have no equity in houses. That's why we don't have any financial. That's why our financial situations are the way they are. So there would have to be something done with housing. There would have to be something done with education. There would be something resources as far as our schools having the equipment that every other school has. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then another thing too is like the poverty that we face causes the crime that we live in. So like the thing is like when we address these issues, but it's a whole bunch of, and then the community policing. I don't want to have regular police in the neighborhood no more. If you don't live in this neighborhood, you can't police in this neighborhood. You have to be able to be accountable to those people who live next door to you. So if you beat up somebody's child who lives next door to you, you're going to see them tomorrow. Yes. You don't get to go and hide in Broken Arrow and beat up people out in North Tulsa.
Yeah, so that's with that.
Yeah, yes. So it's a lot of things. It's a whole and with your rationale, I thought about it. I was like, well, I give you that because it's nothing that you could just be like, bam, and it's done.
Yeah, it's nothing. And can I know we going way past.
Oh, you good? You good?
Come on.
Because you're gonna cut out a lot, like, cause I just love all of this kind of stuff. But what I will say is, simple things that you know, when people be like, it's not fundamentally right. You know what I'm saying? When people have non-black people have opinions about how the country operates and how black people should be and where they should be at this point. My brother-in-law made this great, we had this conversation. He was talking about this friend, you know, because, okay, so if you start a business, right? Or if you start something that's going to be great, lots of times we don't have a safety net. We can't make a lot of mistakes because there's not a lot of generational wealth to back up the mistake, right?
Agreed.
So it's like, ooh, we got to get it done, right? The reason that we don't have generational wealth and what people fail to realize, no matter how many equal rights we have and all of that stuff, because my brother-in-law was talking about his friend who would be like, oh, well, if they don't work out, I'll just call my parents. And so, you know, it will be stuff for like 10,000 here, 20,000. So you thinking, oh, his parents must be well-to-do. No, his parents worked just regular factory jobs and had retirements. Our people weren't even allowed in that space until later on. Yeah. So we never got a chance to build up just generational wealth from working at GM or general. Like we never got that opportunity. So there's so many holes and gaps within that conversation that people just don't like, oh, I never even thought about that. So when your mother and father had worked for 25 years and had saved into a 401k for 25 years, we were just getting in the game.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So that creates a deficit. You know what I'm saying?
I think, and I just started this. I don't think I've actually mentioned it on the show. I know I mentioned it to you via text, Z. But if anybody has any questions about the straight line between slavery, Jim Crow,
the 1619 thing.
Yeah, I would definitely take a look at the 1619 project. Not only that one, but the 13th Amendment. I think if you tie both of those in, people will get an idea of what you're talking about, Tony, the economics of it. But it shows you the straight line from how slavery basically invented this country.
Yeah.
But also how the 13th Amendment, along with it, the Jim Crow South, even the North, because people were capitalizing off of us and they want to talk about how the North was good. Nah, they were still capitalizing.
Boston
Don't get
is
that
terrible.
twisted.
I don't care what nobody say. Boston has a history like Alabama and Mississippi, and we always be like, "Well, I don't want to go to Alabama. I don't want to go to Boston."
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and it is. It's just I think there are so many. I think people are afraid to look at it.
Yeah. And I
Agreed.
think that's the reason why it's getting so much backlash is because
Yes, exactly.
it
And
is
it's not that big of a deal. And I think that again, you've heard people say it a million times this year that the system is working the way it was designed to work.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you know, people like I have friends that Jucka, real talk, I would trust them with my kids more than I would trust some people that look, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's one of those things where it's like I understand people are people, but I think the disconnect is people don't want to look at, because they look at people like, I mean, not to make it like that, but they look at people sometimes like me and my husband. Well, shit did it. They live in the neighborhood. I mean, surely everybody can do it. Like, no, and we all have different situations.
Yeah.
Everybody's starting point is different. Everybody's story is different.
Yeah,
So,
the main thing that people will say is, of course, slavery never happened on my time, or my
that was 400. That was 200 years ago.
I'm not my granddaddy or whatever the case is.
Right.
But what they're missing is, of course, the ripple effects. And I always try to say this as simply as I can for some people. And I'm sorry, we do have to move on. But you take a little pebble and you throw it in a lake or a pond or whatever. What is it going to do?
Ripple.
It's going to make a big splash, and that splash is going to ripple.
Right.
And it won't be long before the ripples come up to shore. Racism is the same thing. It was a big old boulder because the slavery and racism that we have in this country is unlike anything this world has ever actually experienced. That's a big old boulder that got thrown into the lake of the earth. And the ripple effects are still being felt even now to this day. And just the country just keeps riding the wave and acting like it's not there. It's still there. The ripple effect is still there.
You can't fix it that way. Like,
you
gotta acknowledge, like, dang, it is rated. What we need to do to fix that? And like I was saying, like it's gonna take more than because we got so many systems are messed up. And we're affected by every messed up system.
The worst by every one of them.
Every single, and I say that because frontline workers. So when you think about that, we're more likely to get sick. You got your kids. So now our kids are out of school. Their districts are not opening sometimes, or they got a shortage of teachers. So our kids are getting a worse education. Then when you get to high school and college, now we back in this. It's just a loop. You know what I'm saying? So it's just,
the education to basically prison system.
Yes.
Just a loop sometimes. And it's terrible. It's terrible. And having to explain that just I don't know about y'all, but sometimes it saps the life out of you. You have to rebuild back up just to have a conversation sometimes.
But the thing's so simple. You be like, come on, now you get it. Like, so
exactly.
Like, no. And I have some friends that be like, oh my God, I never thought about it like that. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
I can deal with you saying, oh my God, I feel so stupid. I was completely ignorant to that. You know what I'm saying? That's okay because we all ignorant in some areas, but no, it's not like that's what's hard.
Me too. Agreed.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's get into some entertainment chop. Lighten it up a little bit here. All right. Tony said, this is what I like. So here recently, man, new album, new music that's popped out. J. Cole, of course. I know Z, you put J. Cole on like this. No, he's not the best of the best.
Don't tell that.
I'll let you say it.
Do not say that at all.
My goodness.
I think J. Cole, if we talked about rappers right now, J. Cole is easily top 2 or 3, right? If we talk about rappers up under 34, 35, I guess he's 37 now. So like we keep on thinking them as being young, and they're you know what I'm saying? But they're right there. So I'm gonna say rappers under 40. I'm not putting them in the class with Rick Ross and Jay-Z and none of those. But like when I talk about Crit, when I talk about Kendrick, when I talk about J. Cole, 21 Savage, people in that range, the Migos, those people, I believe J. Cole is easily number 2 or 3, right? I think he's
Really?
easily number 2 or 3. Yes, I think Kendrick is
I'm
Kendrick is the
glad we got
class.
this on tape. This is great,
Bro. But that's what I tell you when I tell you that you don't listen. That's what I tell you all the time. I think he's an amazing rapper. His music is just boring to me. I don't want to listen to it twice. It's the same thing I tell people all the time. I will never say that Nas is not a great rapper because I think Nas is a great rapper. His songs are just boring to me, and I don't want to listen to him. I would rather listen to Kendrick than J. Cole. I would rather listen to Crit. I like Crit beats. He reminds me of Andre 3000 and Pimp C. That's more of what I relate to. Not J. Cole is amazing. His music it doesn't capture my ear. So I'm never gonna say anything bad about him, but that's what I got.
Okay. Hey, I'll take that. Z.
Gotcha.
Oh
So,
man,
is J. Cole? I'm about to sound like an old lady. Okay.
All right.
J. Cole. I just saw some footage. Is it J. Cole that's playing in the South African NBA?
Yes, that's him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw that yesterday. I was like, oh, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
He like 6'5". He like 6'5", 6'6".
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, I learn something new every day. I never knew that.
Now, Tony, I thought you was really gonna do some old lady stuff. Is J. Cole the one that had a little
sing the song throat,
with the one that sang the little Poosa song? Is that him?
Listen, I will be honest. All of them, not all, like, sir, I can hear the Migos and know that sound like, but a lot of them.
Tony, we have this conversation all the time.
What's the difference between Lil Baby and Da Baby?
Here's the thing. I can hear the difference with them.
Okay. I can too.
Their cadence is different. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the same producers doing Da Baby. Like Da Baby sticks out to me more than Lil Baby.
Lil Baby, agree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both of them. I like both of them.
Yeah, the baby cadence is like his do 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 like so, and he's always on that like
he always got real heavy bass drums. Yeah, he dope. I like him.
Yeah,
I like him a lot. I don't be knowing about him.
So, with some of the new music that's dropping now, and before I get to the other one that's new music, I did actually have to bring up R&B.
Okay, please.
So I always have this conversation about R&B being on the downside right now.
Okay.
What do you feel like if someone says to you R&B is dead, your comeback is?
No, it's not.
Ooh, all right now.
No, it ain't. Well, and I say that because that's another situation about systems and how they work, right?
Yep.
So labels don't put money behind R&B. They slowly stopped doing it and started putting more into rap. I have a few different reasons for why I think that happened, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But they started putting bigger budgets behind rappers and less behind R&B. And then they can say, people just don't buy R&B. No, you're not putting millions of dollars to expose people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as R&B, PJ Morton, which will be in Tulsa. Y'all familiar with him?
Man, I listen to PJ Morton and JoJo all the time. My wife be like, Z, you listening to that again? I be like, man, say something.
Yeah. So PJ is my homeboy, like for real. Super dope. Excuse me. Him. Let me think of who else is. You got Lettuce. I think R&B is alive and well. It's just not
out front.
The same out. Yeah, it's not on the same out. You know, we used to turn on the radio. That's how we, you know what I'm saying, our original, but it's like we get our stuff from different places now. What is it, Spotify and all of those. It's some really dope artists.
So this is what I tell people all the time. You can't tell me that R&B is dead when her being as big as she's been for the last 2 years. Her is major right now, and she gets promoted. She gets promoted the way she's supposed to get promoted, but that's because somebody that took the time to put the money behind her music and showcase her in the right light. But
that's exactly it.
I heard Raheem Devine talking about it, and he was like, it was either him or Anthony Hamilton, and they were just talking about like how the money's not there no more. And so what a lot of those artists are doing is they're just promoting themselves, and they're seeing more money on the back end. They said there's still audiences, like we could go and travel the country and do these tours. We're still seeing the same audiences. We just don't get to play like or the airplay no more, but it's still a crowd there for it.
And real talk, the money is
Mm.
way better as an independent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure the company's not taking their
Yeah.
stuff off the top. Plus, you own your own, so
Yes, exactly. It's a way better setup. It's something to get used to. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Because it's something I've had to reprogram my mind about. But to do it independently, like just straight direct, you can talk directly to your fans and that's like the better way. We just used to a different system.
now we
Man,
did
you know the
grow up
crazy
with
thing,
beepers.
what I think
So
about what I think
We
about
did
all the
get
time is like I remember when we were like when I was in college and we were doing music, man, and it was like, man, we got to know somebody at a radio station, maybe this radio station person to get this song to somebody, maybe somebody will hear it and they'll call you back. It was like it was
right.
all these hopes and maybes and trying to figure out how to get somebody to listen to your music. I remember thinking like, man, I would just love to be able to do a video. That was my rap dream was like, I just want to have a single
Yes,
on the radio and do a video. And now I think about
yes.
all these young dudes with these cameras, these dudes do videos with their phones. And I'm like, man, this is
But they
crazy to
are.
think about what people can do and like the ways that you can touch people that you couldn't do 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Or 30 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really dope. It's really, really dope. You just kind of create whatever you want. Cause like I was saying earlier, like it used to be gatekeepers, like, oh, if they don't like you, then they probably ain't. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you ain't got to like me. Like, cause you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
have my own audience. I can go straight to them.
yeah.
I can, you know what I'm saying? And they just kind of catches on, like and it's it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so since R&B is no longer, or how you should say, is R&B is not dead, um, give us about a good sample size of what's in your music rotation.
Okay, let me get my phone. I got my phone.
Ah.
It have to be our R&B.
No,
No,
it could just
well,
be
I
what you
mean,
listen to.
Okay.
whatever what you listening to.
Okay, so let me tell you what I be so all over the place. Hold on. So I'm listening to what do I have on my the last I'll give y'all the last 10 things that I probably downloaded. Uh
Cool.
Johnny Taylor.
Oh, I got $2.
Yes, last $2. Look,
My
Johnny
last.
Taylor, SWV.
Oh, because of the SW. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'm like, oh yeah, that's my it's a guy named Duran Bernard. Have you ever heard of him?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Dope. He's
Okay.
dope. The Cali Khaled album.
Okay.
Um, what else? Gordon Banks.
Oh,
It's a guy.
Gordon Banks is good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a guy named Brandon Banks that I like. It's another guy that I just discovered named Emac. EMAWK. Bomb.
Hmm. Okay.
You know
Bomb.
what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh
Continue though.
no, I downloaded a new Stevie Wonder album, not a new Stevie Wonder, old album that I just downloaded, Hotter Than July.
That's my
Of
favorite
course,
Stevie Wonder.
is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Leave the Door Open, some Donny Hathaway, some Tank. I
Mm.
mean, I just kind of be all over the place. I got some Lil Baby and Da Baby. Then I got a little Hezekiah Walker.
I thought all them
I'm really
babies, you gonna need some Jesus.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
get a little Jesus, get a little cuss in here and there, get a little, so I just kind of listen to,
Everything.
I listen to everything, whatever feels good. It's kind of, and there's a lot of things that just, it's a dude. Have y'all ever heard of, where is that guy at? Oh, his name is Michael Kiwanuka.
Mm-mm.
Kiwanuka. You probably heard the song. He got this song. It's on a Gap commercial.
I
It's like a
I think I already know what you're talking about.
I heard it every time I hear it, it makes me so happy.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh, there's my commercial. So
I
I
can't.
slammed it and it found the song and now I listen to it in the car. Like,
Okay. You know what's crazy? It's funny you said that because there is a song that comes on the insurance commercial. Every time I hear it, I'll be like, that's catchy as I'll get out.
Yes, like I love
You know
that
what song I'm talking about? Where the dude is riding down and the girl is the front thing is singing with him.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, how
You
does it
got the
go? I
time,
swear.
and I got the brains.
Brains.
Let's make
Let's
some
make
money.
lots of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's a world of opportunity. Bro, I don't know what it is about that.
Yep.
Every time I see that commercial, I'm like, okay, I gotta roll with this.
Yep, something. Yep. No, so I do that quite a bit. I'm not even like I listen to country. I listen. I mean, I just like music.
Yeah. Hey, so
I think
who go ahead, Z.
no, I was like, I think like I think I stay in the same lane. I got all these playlists, you know what I'm saying? And it's just depending on how I feel. But like what is constant with me is Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway is like one of my favorite singers ever. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, Stevie Wonder. I'm gonna listen to them all the time. Sam Cooke too. Sam Cooke is on my list like that. Every blue moon, I'll listen to Johnny Taylor because I want to hear I Believe in You. He had a song called I Believe in You where he was singing. And I was like, I didn't even know he could sing like that because I heard so much of the blues stuff. And then like Gerald No, and he's gonna say what he says when I say this artist, but I listen to her and I listen to Jasmine Sullivan. That's where I listen.
And I ain't none of your Jasmine, that fool is just like,
man.
She's so cold-blooded.
Yeah. You go listen to Hezekiah Walker after you finish that, all right?
No, I'm gonna just listen to Jasmine Sullivan. Hey, she wrote an album about what she was out and doing in these streets, man. I'm telling you, bro. That body's
I understand.
My husband loved that new. I be like, you love this little.
Really?
Oh man, the bodies on bodies on bodies. When she was You Kid Not Stop, I was like, ooh. It's almost like she's rapping. She's like she's using the cadence that rappers are doing, but she's singing in a way that most people can't sing. So it's just amazing to me. I'm like, ooh, yeah, like
That girl is cold, like
Hey, man. So before we go too far, I wanted to ask you this. My wife was like, hey, can you ask her this? It's like, so what inspires you when you make when you doing music or like when you start writing or whatever? Like, what inspires you?
I don't know, like whatever I'm going through at the time. Sometimes, so I got this song to be on the album when we release it, and it's about somebody else. It's about a relationship situation with a friend that I wished I could speak on her behalf. Like there have been situations where I'm like, oh, I wish I could just get in your body and talk for you, because then I'll be able to.
Yeah.
That's what the song was about. It was about me. She was going through some stuff, and I'm like, oh, just let me say. You know what I mean? So it just kind of depends on, I'm kind of inspired by what's going on at the time. Sometimes it's about feel, like I want to do a jam, like a bounce, you know what I'm saying? And we'll write it based on that. You know what I mean? So it just kind of varies.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, my bad, Gerald. You can get back to your questions. My bad. I had to.
Oh, actually, man, I had one good question for all of us. Okay. And I kind of wanted us to go through this real quick, but so you know how we talk about our generation's music versus the new music, of course, and then some of our parents' generation of music. What generation would you, if you had to take a 4-hour drive and you can only choose one generation to listen to music in, what generation would it be? Or I should say, what decade? Or I hate to say decade because there's some people who kind of blend in with decades. So I'm gonna go with generations, man. Just
Gerald, I wanted to do the top 5 too.
Dang.
Ooh, see?
78 to 88.
Where I'm gonna struggle is I'm gonna want that R&B, like that R&B, like funkish kind of feel between Atlantic Star, Midnight Star, Freddie Jackson, that Climax, that era. But I'm gonna want that 90s R&B with, you know what I'm saying, like the SWVs and Escapes and all of that, like 93 to like 2002 R&B though. Like that's where I would struggle at, because that's probably where most of my stuff would be at.
93 had some good old music, Silk and all of them. Like what? Man, so my tough question.
Totally. My wife was
okay.
My wife was in. My wife went to Connecticut like 2 weeks ago, the night they did the verses, and I was like, she was like, "Baby, I'm gonna miss the verses," and I was like, all right, we ain't never been those verses this whole time. Like, why are you missing the verses?" She was like, I'm going to see Donnell Jones, Silk, and Music. I was like, girl, you better miss this verses.
Wow.
Better get out there and see that music.
They gonna do a replay. Yep. Music used to be on my block, the label I'm on now.
Did he?
Really?
He don't.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dope. That's
But
dope.
Donnell Jones sounded like the CD. Like
Donnell Jones is so underrated.
No, not
He's such a dope writer.
yes.
Dope.
Yes.
he may be underrated in some parts, but not around these parts.
No, I
Yeah,
think
right. Exactly.
Boy,
I think we
Yeah,
understand
I
it,
think-
but he's definitely when he was talking about writing Get It Together for 702, I was like, what? I
Listen,
didn't even
that
know
song,
that.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Yes.
boy. Yeah, his whole that man, I remember that first. Well, not his this would have been his
First
third
two.
album.
It was like his first two or
No.
three.
I'm just saying my favorite one, I think, was the third album that had the Tell Me, Have You Seen Her? Have you
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Mhm.
Then he had You Know What's Up, the same album.
Yes.
But that album was fire. Oh my god, that album was fire. It made me want to go back and poke. I'm gonna poke around on that one.
I think
Let me ask y'all this: are y'all big? You know who I'm a fan of? Are y'all big Joe fans?
Yeah, Joe is like, you know what? I was having this conversation with to somebody about Joe. Period. Like, to me, Joe was almost like he's like that one constant that's always been there for a long time.
He just ain't never stopped making music. He like, y'all can pay attention to y'all don't have to, but
But he has got some dope.
my first song would I remember Joe. I went to it might have been 1992. He had a song called I'm in Love, and he was dancing in a Jean Carl Canai suit. Do you remember that? They was doing the dances. He sung like his life depended on that song. I listen to that song to this day. Like the first Joe album. I remember here we go. Like we said, I'm gonna be quick. I remember us going to Woodland Hills Mall and getting the Don't Be a Menace soundtrack, listening to it on the way home, and I heard that all the things, and I was like, this is fire. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think Joe reminds me of Tank, though. He's just somebody who
always
good.
Yeah.
He's always
good.
Yeah.
Always good. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig Tank stuff too. I just, man, sometimes I'll be like, okay, Tank, you're going too far.
I think Tank is trying to
Tank.
I think Tank is trying to get. I think he's did so many good songs that didn't get like the recognition that he wanted. That he's doing something different to try to attract a different audience to get more. Because if you think of I Deserve and all them songs he did before, they were very tame compared to the songs he's doing now.
But you know what's crazy though is you can even listen to, like, I don't think people even knew he had he made like a 3-song stint for his wedding when he got married.
Gotcha.
And it actually has some pretty dang good love songs on there. I was thinking to myself, man, I wouldn't mind this would have been played at my wedding. This is pretty dope.
He wrote Come Over by Aaliyah, right?
Oh yeah, dude, he has wrote and produced so much that he doesn't get credit for.
So me and Tank wrote 3 songs on my first album, right? He's super cool, super crazy writer, but a lot of people don't know he was a background singer on tour with Aaliyah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's
Did he write Adore? Did he help you write Adore? Adore is my favorite song you did. That's mine.
No,
yes.
John T. Austin.
What?
Yes.
What?
John
Yeah.
Austin.
That's my favorite song off you. I still listen to that like all the time.
People, and that's when me and my husband first started dating. He was like, "This Adore." He went to the barbershop and was like, "Man, I'm talking to this girl. Y'all gotta hear this album." Adore. I'm like, you know, a little something.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh man. No, so man. Oh, I forgot to answer your question though, Tony.
You gotta answer my question. Yeah.
If I'm riding 4 hours, and I think Z will probably know this. If I'm riding 4 hours,
I already know what
I think I'm gonna stick with the
70s.
I'm gonna stick. Man, I hate to actually discard the 90s R&B because I feel like the 90s R&B is like its own thing.
Yeah.
But I gotta stick with the late 70s, 80s music.
This
and
is
I'm
Marvin Gaye is like his favorite
there,
dude. Marvin Gaye is gonna find a way in every music conversation you have with him.
Of course.
Like,
but who else is in there though too? Like you got Marvin Gaye. Between that time, you had Marvin Gaye, you had the Jackson 5.
You talking? You said late 70s to early 80s.
No, I mean, well, I'm talking decade here. So
Okay, so like the 70s.
give me everything from Marvin Gaye's album all the way up to New Jack Swing.
You
And I'm
got
cool
so
with that
much. You got Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that whole section right there.
that's unfair. That goes against the whole question you
Hey.
just
It's kinda,
asked.
yeah,
How
you
you,
be like,
yeah, how you change the answer to the question you had us struggle on?
I said a decade. I mean, well, you know what I mean? Hey,
That's
I'll
hard.
take that. But I ain't gonna lie though, man. I can actually roll with the old generation any day of the week. Whether it's between Teddy P, Marvin Gaye, Shy Lights, Commodore. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Literally,
Bro,
I
you
swear
remember,
they had some of the. They had the best music, man. The
you
best
remember
music.
the song by Drew Hill?
Everybody could sing. I'm talking sing.
No, the song by Drew Hill. The love stays on my
Love
mind.
We Had stayed on my mind.
Have you ever heard
Yeah.
Adele sing that? Did you know that was Adele's song?
Mhm.
No.
The love we had stays on my mind.
Tony, you
And
know,
then, yeah.
Adele's is the dudes who sung in the 5 Heartbeats.
Yeah.
So there's the real
Yeah.
high dude. The real high dude is get on there and he like super smooth and girl,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And then the heavy dude who be like, girl, when you're lonely, man. Well, Tony, I'm
They
telling you, you got
I'm about to look it up. The Dale. What's the name of it again?
the love you stay, the love
we had stays.
the
on
love
my
we
mind
had
or
stays
something.
on my mind.
The love we had.
So I can look it up right there.
But yeah,
Man.
Oof.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're gonna talk for 5 hours. All right, Gerald, is that what you had?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I had, man. Is that, and then ended off on TV shows. I haven't been really watching too much TV this past week, man. Other than the NBA starting up, but I did actually want to go check out that new movie. And I don't even like scary movies, but I want to go check out and support Chris Rock's new movie, man. It's out.
Oh, the Saw thing.
Yeah.
He got.
And
It's
I'm
like
not really
it's
even
like a
fan of-
Saw, like something off of Saw. And Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson is in it too, right?
Yeah, Samuel Jackson's in it too. And plus we ain't been to the movies in a long time, so I'm like, I think it's about that time.
Damn.
Yeah, I want to see. I'm trying to think. It ain't really nothing out. I'm trying to think of what shows I watch. I really like Power. The new Power went off, so with homeboy Mary J, she killed it.
I thought she did too. She was great.
Did a great
Method
job.
Man was too.
Yeah, he was dope too. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of what else I watch.
Okay, can y'all both? I need both of y'all to watch Snowfall.
Listen.
Okay.
I am a huge Snowfall fan.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, let me wait then, because he still has not watched it yet.
So let me tell you. Let me tell you where I'm at, Tony. Since Gerald is out here telling all the business. I and Gerald didn't watch book 2. He didn't watch Ghost, book 2.
Oh no, I didn't watch Power.
He didn't watch that, so don't let him talk noise because he needs to watch that. But
I ain't ready yet. Ghost is still
what happens
alive.
is me and my wife, Gerald always talks about The Wire. Gerald and Natan always talk about The Wire, and so me and my wife was like, let's just watch The Wire. So we're in season 5. I think we have 2.5 episodes left of The Wire. And after we watch The Wire, she's never watched Power. So we're gonna go back and rewatch all the Powers. Then we'll watch Snowfall. So Snowfall is on our list, but yeah, it's after Power. I still don't think.
So if you was gonna rank them, Tony, which one would you rank Snowfall over Power or Power? My bad, Z.
No, go ahead. That's what I was gonna ask you.
Listen, Snowfall is spectacular. Okay,
Thank you.
It's like the cinematography is dope. The Snowfall is grade A.
Okay.
You might want to start with Snowfall, then go back to Power.
So my thing is, I watched The Wire and I've heard people talk about how great The Wire was. And to me, The Wire is not better than Power. I love Power. I love the storylines, the way they told the stories.
So we watched. Yeah, man, Snowfall. I think
Man.
Really, and his name is Damson Idris.
Yeah, it's like Damson Idris or something like that.
So it's that he's from London or something like that. You never know. That dude is so. The whole show is just bomb.
It's almost like that dude from. All American.
All American. When he started talking, I was like,
what?
Yeah,
right.
where?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he dope. I mean, like, yeah, no. Snowfall is, it's just Snowfall is really dope. And I know I've said that 20 times, but it is a really dope show.
Man, I hear people. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I plan on watching it, man. But and where I'm at right now, I tell people all the time, Power is the best show I've seen, like black show, like as far as cable show, where you can tell the story like you
Oh,
want to tell a story.
yeah.
And then, like, honestly, I tell people all the time, Spartacus is my favorite show. Spartacus that came on Stars was the best. Sony, it is
Listen,
blood
just
and
the
gore.
just the first season though, right?
I know.
I didn't really too much care for the other ones.
I like them all. I understood what happened with the second and third season. So what happened is they had a first season called Spartacus, and it was like Roman people
that's
battling.
what it's actually about.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gladiators.
So gladiators. And so it
Gladiators.
was like the stories of gladiators and kings and slaves and all this stuff. And the first season came out the blue and it was amazing. And then the main dude died. Like actually died in real life. Like out the blue.
Oh, so wasn't no
And so then they changed over, and then they didn't expect for it to be big as it was, and then they had to change. So it never was good as the first season, but I still like the second and third seasons too. They were all great to me. So
gotcha.
I got that in Game of Thrones and then Power. That's
Do you watch
how.
Billions? Have you ever watched Billions?
I've never watched Billions.
Yeah, Billions is good.
Billions? What's that?
Ozark is good.
Oh yeah, we watched Ozark.
We
all
watched Ozark. Okay, so since we've all watched Ozark, can we just agree that we can't wait for the next season? And how the last season ended was like, oh my Lord, Jesus.
So it's
Every
supposed
time y'all believe us on that, we gotta wait a whole nother year. We gotta come up with it. Do y'all watch The Shy?
No.
Oh, I keep hearing, but it's just like I need to watch The Shy and ATL.
So
ATL is.
I'm trying to watch a couple episodes. It's really good, huh?
ATL?
Yeah.
ATL is amazing.
I need to go back and watch ATL. The Shy, I got on the bandwagon late, but once I was on it, I was like, "Oh, this is a good show. This is good." Yeah, so you have to check it out.
Yeah. I watch on Netflix. There's a thing called Jupiter's Legacy, and it's about like some superheroes and something.
Uh-huh.
And I think after we had just watched Invincible, it was not good to me at all. It was like they told the story. It was too slow, and they didn't break it. Like they didn't do what they were supposed to. And then I tried to watch that. What's the dude name? The dude from ATL, Stan Lakeith. Stan.
Lakeith.
Yeah.
Lakeith, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he did a Black Samurai like anime. So I tried to watch that too, but I like at episode 4, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I can't make it.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, I haven't.
Man,
it was called Yasuki. But it was not.
Thing about,
huh?
That's the thing about sitting down and going through like a whole.
Or when you find a good show and you're out of good shows and you don't have any suggestions, or like when you're married, I know y'all all of this. So when you're married and your wife is not at home, so you can't start the new good show because they there. So you
the fight will go down.
Yeah. So
and then listen, my husband is one. You be like, man. First of all, we started at 11 o'clock. I accidentally went to sleep, and you just watched the whole season. Wow.
The betrayal. The betrayal.
Betrayal is so thick in this place. Like I'm telling you, I can't believe. I hate it. Yeah, but yeah.
Nah, but the hardest thing too, though, man, is like I understand the frustrations from not getting into the wire soon, because I mean when you know that there's like
5
I've been
seasons?
meaning to watch Snowfall for the longest, and when I went to look at it, it was like 4 seasons. Ooh. That means I'm gonna have to chop off some blocks of time here, bro.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's hard to chop up those blocks of time and knock it all out, especially knowing it's like that many seasons.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, man, Snowfall definitely was worth it. It was worth all of it.
But see, and so the thing too, like the difference for me and my wife, we watch Married at First Sight, we watch Love After Lockup. You know what I'm saying? So we have like these different shows that we watch during the week. So I don't have a time to just be like, hey, I'm gonna watch 25 episodes of Snowfall. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that time. Yeah.
Right. It's like, dang, how we gonna catch up with? Yeah, it's because it is a commitment.
Yes.
It's a commitment. Yeah.
But and you know what? It feels like a commitment too when it's over.
Like you feel like you don't have nothing else. Like you left. Like
how you gonna suck me in all this time and then you just gonna leave me after this last? Come
After
on.
last season, and don't let it be. Don't let you commit to all them episodes, and then the series is over. Not we coming back for the next season. It's like, dang, I done got this deep in, and it's over. It's done.
Yeah,
It's done. Ain't
like
no
man,
more.
we can't wait for the next. We can't wait for the next season of You to come out. Me and my wife. This is one of the ones we love.
Oh yeah, You was great.
You on Netflix.
Oh, it was about the
Tony.
white dude. It was like a white dude, and like
yes,
the whole
watch
time
it.
he was like,
please watch this.
He was like, you love me because I love you, and like it was like the weirdest. It's like
Really?
he's like a stalker. He's like a stalker, creeper type of dude, and it's just and some of the situations he end up in, like when he was in the bushes, or like when he was in her house, like he was. I think he was taking a shower in her shower, and she came home, and it was something like that.
Is it scary?
No,
it's not scary.
Okay.
It's
I
like
can't even really
stalkerish.
explain it.
Yeah, it's
You
like
gotta watch it.
stalkerish, but it's funny, but it's crazy. But it's called You on Netflix. Amazing.
Okay, I have to. Okay, write that down too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna be coming back. You gonna make him post on it on
Like,
right.
You make him post.
They wrote me into this show.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's not one of them shows where you have to watch the first 2 episodes and be like, man, what is this? Like immediately you jump right in the story and be like, oh, what?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Have you?
All right. Well,
Black Mirror.
Huh?
Black Mirror. Have you ever watched that?
I heard about it. Ain't that a show on
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's almost like a modern Twilight Zone.
I was gonna say it's supposed to be like a weird sci-fi.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
All right, man. Well, shoot. That's all we got on the chopping it up list. Man. It has been. I think we actually ran overtime this time.
Oh man, yeah,
we ran probably 17 hours overtime.
Oh, it's all right. We gonna. All we do is
cool,
we'll make like some like teasers, and then we'll put the whole episode. So if you want to watch it all, my wife be like, when y'all have good conversations, y'all should have the good conversations. Don't cut them off. So.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll share it, and just because what days do y'all usually post it on a specific day?
We just
whenever we can
record
get it
one night. We'll try to post it the next day.
Okay,
I'll text it to you when we post it.
Yes, text it to me, and then I'm gonna try to see. I got a couple of different things going on my YouTube channel, so maybe y'all can come on to my YouTube channel.
Would love
or
to.
something. We can promote the show.
Just let us know when.
Just let us know when. Would love to. Especially we don't talk for 2 hours like this, and then like 8 things I could think of I want to talk about. Yeah, I'm like, damn it, I didn't get to ask her about this.
Yes, I know.
We was gonna ask you about your favorite R&B singer.
I know. I don't. Jasmine Sullivan, Fantasia. It's so many different people for so many. I just respect talent in general, and it don't have to be the stereotypical talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we equate talent to that don't necessarily mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's like somebody asking me who you like better, Sade, or do you like, you know what I'm saying, Anita Baker better?
That's
Yeah,
I was about to say the same thing. I don't think Sade,
I love Anita, but I love Sade, bro.
I don't think Sade, if we talk about singing, I don't think Sade would sing with Anita Baker, like if we were like really talking, but I love both of them the same.
No, but that's what she's saying though. Like,
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, so I'm with it, and then I'll text you or whatever and come up once I have a day or something like that.
Okay.
Then we'll come up with something and we can make schedules work and y'all come on.
All right, that works.
Sound like a plan.
Slap.
Yay, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thanks for coming on and being a guest on the show.
Yes, no, look, I'll come back anytime. Just let me know.
We'll do.
Bet.
Definitely will do.
All right, cool. Bye, y'all.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.